And that is $1 billion liquidated in yesterday's candles since I made my last video. Look at that. It hit 1.07 billion at one point. The long short ratio hit over 4% at one point, and that is pretty much the day after we saw close to, I think, was it nearly 900 million of liquidations in a 24-hour period. So we've pretty much seen in the last 3 days pretty much $2 billion of longs liquidated, and we have hit long maximum pain of $89,100 on that 1 month time frame. So we've got a new level of $86,200. And a quick look at the 24-hour price action, you can see we've actually busted through this long maximum pain level because we hit 87.8 at one point. So that means because we did not see any continuation and we've now made our way back above that level, it makes me think that we'll probably hit the short maximum pain next of around $92,000, which would line up very well on the 4-hour chart with that 4-hour 2-bar swing low. So pretty much old bottoms become new tops, potentially. Now, that theory will be invalidated if we can get a very strong close today. If I draw a quick fib retracement, you can have a look. We've got that 50% level at, if we have a quick look, $90,400. So if we can get a close back above this 50 TMA at 89.5 at the minimum, psychological level of 90,000, 50% level of 90,400, and this trend line, 4th time breakout of 90,700, then I would be of the opinion that we've just printed a higher low on the daily time frame, and we've made our weekly 3rd higher low, and we'll be on track to potentially test 104 to 106,000. And yeah, like, not really much has changed since yesterday's video. Like, we've gotten that massive leverage flush out. We are now 6 days down. It doesn't look like we'll be getting 7 days down, and due to the excessive range of this bar, I would not like to see 7 days down. You know, like if yesterday's bar, you know, closed at say 91, 92k, and we got this huge 1 billion liquidation flush to, you know, 88k today, I would be like, yo, we've got a 7 days down signal, everything lines up perfectly. But just because the analysis isn't perfect doesn't mean it's not valid, because we've got all these other signals coming together. I mean, the monthly really hasn't changed since yesterday. But yeah, the 4-hour chart is 7 bars down, and you can see 4-hour chart, when we get 7 bars or more in one swing direction, it typically leads to a pretty significant reversal. And very rarely will we just shrug it off and keep going. And even if it does, it ends up being a short-lived top or bottom, and price ends up coming back to where we got that 7-bar signal anyway. So, you know, in the event that we do flush out tomorrow and hit, what was it, 86,400, was it? 86,200. So even if we do reverse, come to 86,200, I think it will be very short-lived, and price will come back to, you know, 89, 90k, and hopefully test these higher prices very soon, and we start to get that weekly continuation next week. So even if we do just chop sideways, you know, for the next few days, I am still of the firm belief that next week is going to be a very bullish week, because, you know, Trump's just come out, said something, bad news, and we've made a higher low on bad news. And that, if you follow Jason Pizzino over on YouTube, he talks about that a lot in his recent videos, where if you get more fear, like in terms of sentiment on X, YouTube, etc., but the price is making a higher low, it's often a very strong signal that we're going to be going higher before we go lower. Now, if we have a look at the 1-hour chart, you can see we are attempting to get back above this 1-hour TMA, which we first broke down around 95k. So if we can get a 1-hour 2-bar higher low above the 1 hour TMA, I would be of the thought that we have a early signal that the 4 hour and daily trends are going to continue up. Now, one more note on the daily time frame is typically when you see a fake out on that 50-day TMA where we get a close, an attempted move above the line, but we fail and end up snapping back down, you end up seeing a very strong sell-off to come. Now that signal also happens in reverse, and I think right here you can see on the 5th of June we had that close under the 50 TMA, but an immediate reversal the next day, and obviously price went significantly higher. So if we can get that signal here, and today's bar can, close at those, 89.5, 90, 90,500, 91k and above levels that I talked about earlier, ideally 92k, then I think this will be a very significant bottom that will hold up for potentially days or even weeks. And that's pretty much all my analysis. Like, keep your eyes on the chart today, either set a whole bunch of alerts or do whatever you need to do, tighten those stop losses, limit orders, etc. And let's just hope the market ends up printing a very strong close. Not much more to say. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.